Here we go. Begin.
How has child abuse impacted your life?
Child abuse has impacted my life on every level, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. At 12 years old, I was kidnapped and assaulted by a male stranger. And ever since that moment that abuse happened, I was never the same. I had constantly had suicidal thoughts. I felt like I was a prisoner in a body that I no longer wanted, a body that had been abused, a body that had been ruined. And as a result of that, I didn't want to live anymore. It affected my relationships with my family. All of a sudden, I no longer wanted to be around my family. I no longer wanted to be in a relationship with friends. So I isolated myself. I became very depressed, very depressed. And it took a lot of struggle, a lot of fighting. And it took community and took me being able to have the courage to talk about what happened to me in order for me to heal from what happened to me. And so even now as an adult, I suffer from certain illnesses due to my adverse childhood experiences. I suffer from hypertension. I suffer from high cholesterol. I suffer from moment to moment still the bouts of depression. So it still has an impact on my life somewhat, but not as much as it did at first.
Thank you so much. And we can go on to number 2.
Okay.
Here we go.
What led you to get involved with Prevent Child Abuse Henry or the prevention of child abuse?
What led me to get involved, actually, I feel like that I didn't purposely choose this call. It almost chose me. I became a special victim detective. Just wanted a job, thought I was just getting a job to become a police officer. However, when I became a special victims detective and I saw my first forensic interview and I watched a little boy with the courage to tell his story, and that touched me deeply. And I felt like I had to do more than I was doing. I had to do more than just put people in jail, that I had to get out front of abuse and actually stop it before it happened and not wait until it happened. So I felt like my duty as a detective, as a former victim, is not only to stop abuse, but make others aware of how abuse happened and what happened when abuse happened.
I'm not sure we can improve upon that one. Thank you so much.
All right.
Very well done. Perfect.
Thank
So
you.
We can go on to number 3.
How can an individual and or community support the prevention of child abuse?
Wow, that's a great question. I think to prevent it, we need to educate ourselves more about abuse, not just that it happens, but actually the trauma that's associated with abuse when it happens, how it separates people from themselves, the effect that it has on the brain, and how trauma has a lasting effect. That when someone is arrested or held accountable for abuse, that's not enough. The victim themselves need therapy, they need support of community, they need support of family. And so if people want to get involved, I would say educate themselves. As well, find your local child advocacy center. Find out how you can help through volunteering, through donations, and also help teach children in the schools how abuse affects others and what's wrong with abuse as far as bullying, and that it's okay if they want to disclose that they have been abused. So I think they can help in that way.
Let's, that was fine. But
Okay.
For the sake of options, if we can do that one more time.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Go ahead.
How can an individual and or community support the prevention of child abuse?
I think individuals and communities can support the prevention of abuse by educating themselves on what abuse is and what it does and how it affects individuals, families, and communities. I think they can further help the prevention of abuse by finding their local child advocacy centers and find out how they can help through volunteering their time, their resources, and I also think that they can continue to spread the word about abuse and that we don't wait till abuse to happen, but we actually try to prevent abuse from happening. Because here in America, a child is abused every 10 seconds, and that is tragic. So I think that we need to do more than just respond to abuse, but we need to do more to prevent it through education and awareness.
Excellent. Thanks
Okay.
so much. We can,
Cool.
There's one more, right?
Is it?
Number
Oh,
4, I think? Yeah, thanks so much.
okay, I'm
Here we
feeling the light. Okay. Okay.
If someone out there listening is a victim of child abuse, what do you want them to know?
I want them to know that they're loved. I want them to know that they're valuable. I want them to know that it's not their fault. And I want them to know there are people like me and others that are out there that are willing to help them get through what they have gone through and let them know that they're not alone, that they are loved and that they can reach out for help and they can tell their story and let them know that there's a community, there are child advocacy centers that can help them. There are hotlines of people on the phone that they can talk to if they're going through depression. If they find and feel that they're alone, there are people out here that they can talk to. So I want them to know that they're not alone and that it's not their fault.
Very nice. I think that was pretty smooth also. also.
Okay.